What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB, back once again. So, we got some leaked footage of AJ training with Ben, Mr. Miyagi Davidson. And I just want to make some comments really about, well, how I feel I've developed from a spectator of boxing anyway. Let's get to the footage. So,
oh my god, hold up. Oh my god, hold up. Oh my god, hold up.
So apparently Ben Davison gets hit, yeah, but that's not really the point. I don't think he gets hit. I think it's a Malik Scott phantom punch. Let's watch it here. Does he get hit? No, I don't hit him at all. Unless the frame skips. But I don't. It doesn't look like a. I've seen someone's head snap round. Yeah, that wasn't a snap round. It was like him turning his head. But anyway, I think Ben rolled with the shot anyway. That's not the point I'm making. Today's video, I have concerns that AJ, which is well often the case, people. I've got concerns here that AJ going to fall in love with this right hand business. Do you know what I mean? Okay, you sparked out in Bongo. Yeah, you sparked out in Bongo with a big right hand. You stood there and just winged it. Great. Like I've been saying throughout these videos recently. In my opinion, listen, if AJ can stand there, yeah, and just pull and whoop and wing that right hand and fall over his feet and doing so, knock Fury and Usyk spark out, man, fair play to him. But this ain't the play, man. And the more I've watched things, like when you start in the game of boxing or whatever, any combat sport, we all like big, massive shots. Someone like Canelo, for example. Canelo, in the prime of his career, when he was going on the 168 run, he was all about big singles and doubles. You wouldn't see Carrot Top put a whole bunch of shots together, and that was appealing to me. But then he goes in there with someone like Bivol, yeah? And it's like the volume, the overwhelming volume trumps big singles. Big singles are predictable. What isn't predictable is Crawford. He throw in 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, yeah? When he on that arse. Certainly 3s and 4s. He just touch you everywhere. You don't know where it's coming from. But Turbiev, he ain't standing there, step, wing. He hand just keep going. And that, if you boxed before, yeah, you'll know people who throw big singles, it's almost a safe place to be. Obviously, Canelo clearly has overwhelming power for most people. Callum Smith, Jamel Charlo, they get hit once. Carrot Top don't need to throw a million punches. He hit you once and you're like, oh my god. You're like, seeing a ghost. You didn't appreciate what boxing was until Carrot Top hit you upside your arm. Yeah? Equally though, that was trumped. Bivol can't punch a lick. We know that. Evidentially. Bivol can't punch. And yeah, it was his volume. Obviously he's got other things like footwork and accuracy and IQ and whatever buzzword you want to throw in there, but it wasn't Bivol's power. He was just touching dude everywhere. Carrot Top didn't know where it coming from. So again, initially myself in the game, I was attracted to these big one shots and big singles and Carrot Top. But the more I watch, what's sustainably efficient, even look at Usyk for example. Usyk ain't in there ringing big singles. He pity-patting all over the place. Now that don't turn me on, but someone like Beterbiev, he does the same. In principle, Beterbiev and Usyk are somewhat similar in as much as they're volume punchers. The difference is Beterbiev, he can knock you out, spark out of a jab. So it's the combination of both of them. Volume, which makes sense, volume and punching art. That's going to be more deadly than someone who's predictable. And I worry that, the Mr. Miyagi effect, oh, Ben Davison's planning, means I can knock anyone out with a big massive, watch AJ fall over his leg here. So he throws the right hand, look, his back leg's dragging, look, watch. So that's a good stance, right? Oh, it's a bit wide, but whatever. So he's essentially pulled, so AJ's here, he pulls, dips in, and then wings the right hand, yeah? Watch his back leg. He leans right over his front leg as well. So he's gone from back here, he's leaning right over, so much so, he's dragging his back leg forward, right out of position. Look at him now. His right hand is swung, basically, it looks like Wilder. I'm not being funny. You can watch Wilder fights, and he'll throw a right hand, and he'll end up swinging it all around him. Yeah? Just trying to generate more power. And again, this looks great against Ngannou. Yeah? You can stand there and wing something, but when you got against the Furies, the Usyks, I don't want to, this ain't it, man. And you should train the way you want to fight. So people can say, well, YB, it's just training and it's just experimenting, maybe, but why experiment absolutely the wrong way? In my opinion. There's never a time you should ever in training throw a right hand and end up with your arm And look at him. So he started. Look at the position of his body. Watch. So he starts here pretty grounded, right? He throws the right hand. His leg twists up. His arm. Look at his body. Imagine that. Imagine throwing a punch and ending in this position. He goes from a solid, orthodox position to being all squared up, legs twist up. Look at that foot's there and that foot's there. He's twist up. Imagine that. Why would you ever do that in training for? Because you best believe, people, you'll never see Beterbiev like that. You'll never see Usyk like that. Really, you'll never see Fury like that. And AJ has the good principles. I believe, really, in the past I've said, I think AJ should kind of model Canelo's style. But that was never realistic. AJ's not a midget in that sense. He's not short and stubby. So he's not going to be doing all the rocking and rolling that Carrot Top can do. But look at Beterbiev. Beterbiev, really, when you look at AJ's jab, historically, it's similar to Beterbiev. In fact, really, AJ's more similar to Beterbiev than he is Carrot Top. That's the truth. That volume, man. Beterbiev doesn't, and the thing about it, look at Carrot Top here. Carrot Top throws big singles. His punch output is pretty low, but he's gassed after 4 or 5 rounds. Surprisingly enough, it takes more energy to load up on 1 or 2 shots than it does to step in, get 4, 5, 6 off, and then step out. Look at Bivol. Bivol can do that all night. Step in, hit you all over the place, step out. Beterbiev can step in, hit you all over the place, step out. Try it yourself. When you're in there, putting all you can into 1 or 2 punches, it's fatiguing. Because you're redlining every time. Whereas people like Beterbiev and Bivol, they're operating in kind of like the 70%, 80%. Which works out, you can do 70, 80% for a lot longer than you can do 99% or 95%. It's not proportionate. You can do 50% for much more than double you could do 100% for, if that makes sense. If you could do 100% for 2 rounds, you'd be able to do 50% for like 8 rounds, 9 rounds or whatever. It's not proportionate. So, when you're putting that kind of effort into one big shot and then it doesn't land, it disheartens you. You're out of position, as you can see here. You're gassed, and it's a bad look. And then you're going to get countered as well. So people like Beterbiev and Bivol and whatnot, they don't... Not every shot needs... Even though as it happens from Beterbiev, every shot does count. But when you're throwing 5 or 6 out, yeah, some will get dodged and some will get caught and some will get whatever, but some of them are going to land. You're not relying on this big, lucky punch as such. And I do believe that's what AJ should be training for. Touching people all over the place. It's overwhelming. And if you watch the Usyk versus AJ2 in that round 9, it was not a big single that got him out of trouble. That fight, he came forward and let his hands go, and that's what it is. That consistent pressure. I'm going to touch you all over the place. Pop, 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 4-shot combinations. 4, 5, 6-shot combinations. And yeah, he's a heavyweight, but just reduce the power. Reduce the explosiveness. And that's how Beterbiev and Bivol, but Beterbiev more specifically to AJ, because I believe Beterbiev and AJ are on a similar power. Bivol can't punch a lick. We know that. He can't punch no one. Like Lyndon Arthur couldn't do nothing with him. So Bivol can't punch. So Beterbiev and AJ are more comparable. Go in there and like watch Beterbiev. His shots are devastating, but he's not pushing them. He's not over leveraging them. That makes sense. They're all short and snappy. He's not leaning over and swinging his body around. It's all kind of down the line, all of them. Pop, pop, pop. You know what I'm saying? It's all down the middle. There's nothing out of place, which makes sense. I believe Beterbiev's like a Olympian, or he's certainly Olympian, but I'm not sure if he's gold medalist or whatever. But he's got a solid amateur pedigree. So is AJ though. That's the thing. Listen, I might be wrong and whatever else, but I don't think that he need to be doing this whole right hand business. Just because Ben, fair play to him. Ben Davison nailed the right hand for Ngannou. Yeah, but don't fall in love with that. Don't think now that, all I got to do is listen to Ben and he's going to find a way for me to drop my hands to my waist and sling the right hand and it's going to knock everyone out. That's not realistic. What's more realistic is, I'm going to go in there with tight defense like Beterbiev or Bivol. And these big ass hands are going to be touching you all night, all over the place. Overwhelming pressure. These big ass hands all upside your head and your body. Oops. That's what people can't take. People like Fury and Usyk, all due respect, they can, especially a right hand like that, They can see that coming for sure. That ain't gonna trouble no one. That's what I believe. If you're in there squatting down and whipping from your waist, that's not gonna be it. And these are the fights AJ needs to be preparing for now. However, if AJ goes in there, Beterbiev style, and gets them hands going and wades forward, and we've seen AJ with the basis of this. If you watch AJ versus Parker, he was oppressive in that fight. What was missing was the volume and the intentions. He didn't have bad intentions. He had a good jab, and that was all really all. Good jab and a good right hand. It was all singles and doubles almost. Beterbiev in there, he trying to hit you everywhere. And it doesn't take long, people. When you've shown that kind of offensive prowess, people don't want to know anymore. Watch it. You've seen it with Beterbiev. People don't want to know. It breaks you down. Especially from a heavyweight. Now, the other argument is, well, has he got the cardio for it? Listen, I'm not 6'6" and 250 pounds. I can only speculate. But I'd like to believe a man training every day, twice a day. Conditioning is inherent. I'm not sure. Again, I can't speak on it because I'm not 250 pounds. But I don't see, just because you're 250 pounds, your heart is bigger. Yeah? You got more muscle, but your heart isn't the same size as mine, so it all works out. If you condition yourself properly, I don't see what the difference is. I can't work out why you could just condition them big ass muscles to have more gas tank. If that makes sense. Don't forget, these are the pinnacle of athletes. And yes, you'll get tired in a fight. No one disputing that. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, and let off the bell 100%. No doubt.